there seems to be an international travel theme tonight, and I'm going to keep that going. A couple years ago, I decided I wanted to go to New Zealand. There was no reason, and there was nothing in New Zealand for me, but I figured it out, cashed in my 401k, whole 9 yards. Part of the reason why I decided to go was because I decided to go over the Christmas vacation, and I was in school, in grad school at the time, and I didn't want to go back home. I didn't want to go back home because my sister was having trouble with an addiction, and she had dropped out of school, and it was just really tight and tense at my house, and I didn't want to be around. I didn't want to deal with it. So I thought, New Zealand, this is the furthest place from my home that I could ever go. So I get my tickets for the plane, and I get to Los Angeles. I have a 24-hour layover. I am super swanky. I go on the beach in Venice Beach, and I'm like walking along, and everything's wonderful, and I go to a farmer's market. I have kale and like some grits, and I am like living it, right? So I have a whole hotel room, and I sprung for a king-size bed, the whole works. So the next day I get on the plane, and I am ready. I have my little headrest. I am set. So the plane takes off, and I'm watching the tracker across the Pacific Ocean. And I'm feeling a little gassy, you know? I'm feeling like a little uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna ride this out. I'm gonna sleep through this, okay? And I'm sleeping, and I'm waking up because I am so gassy. I mean, it is a boiling volcano in there. My womb is falling out, okay, because of how much horribleness this is happening here. And there's people beside me, there's people in front of me, and I am that person. I am the stinky person on that plane. Okay, so when you're on a plane, and that's me, all right? And I'm like, whatever, nobody can smell it but me. So I brush it off, and I'm on my way, and I get to New Zealand, and I get to the farm where I'm gonna be staying. And it's this lovely couple, Ron and Gay, and they have sheep. They have a sheep farm. And if you didn't know, New Zealand is really big on sheep, on lamb. That's one of their main exports. So it's like a down and dirty, and I'm working with the sheep and herding them and doing the whoo-hoo, you know, and herding them around and learning things and, you know, all picking up poop and stuff and I don't know, whatever. And we become really, really close. Those of you who've traveled, when you travel, your eyes are you just see so much more because there's so much more to see. It's new, it's different. It's a street, it's a car, but it's completely different, right? And the people that you meet when you travel are completely different too, but they're also the same. And so I created this incredible bond with these people. I loved them, and I needed a family at that point so much because my own was pretty dysfunctional, but they were not. They were in communication all the time, and there was a love that developed between us. Ron was teaching me all kinds of things. He taught me how to shear sheep, and he taught me how to drive an ATV. And I've never driven an ATV, okay? But it was the farm, very exciting. So I'm on the ATV, it's a little bit of a crotch rocket, okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, and I'm like, whoa, okay, here we go. So I'm driving the ATV, and we're going to be herding sheep that way. Sometimes you herd them standing, but other times you can use a motorized vehicle, and they go pretty fast. And if you didn't know, sheep are really dumb. And this is true. You can form bonds with them, and they do form bonds, but they also have a lack of brain cells, especially the little ones. So I'm driving at this point, and Ron is behind me, and I'm driving, and we're cutting through this field, and it's a high grass, and I see something white flash, and then something hits the front of the ATV. And I screech to a halt, and I am shaking. And we get out, and it's a lamb. It's a little baby boy lamb. And the part of this is worse because this is how Ron and Gay make their living, okay? This is what they do. They sell that lamb. That's $85 down the tube that I just destroyed. So Ron is very calm. He's very collected. He puts the lamb onto the back of the ATV and straps it on. If you've ever seen David, the sculpture of David in Tuscany or in Florence, he's this sculpture, and he's sculpted so realistically that it seems like he should be breathing. And when you look at him, your brain does this trick where you think, he's exhaled. When is he going to inhale? And that's how I felt with this sheep, with this lamb. I was waiting for it to inhale, and it kept doing a little electric twitches, and I thought maybe, but no. So we get to the barn, and Ron is a butcher, or he has butchered, and he shows me how to butcher this lamb. And it's very quick, and the skin rips right off, and the belly is on the floor, and the whole nine. And I've held cats in my arm as they died, right? I'm not, but but this is how it goes on a farm. This is what you deal with. This is what you do. And he showed me the place where the ATV hit the shoulder and it was bruised and we couldn't use that part. But the rest of the lamb, we put into a freezer for dinners. So we could use that lamb. It was an experience for me where I trusted somebody and I made a mistake and it was okay. It kept going, life kept going. So I really loved my time there. As I drove away on the bus to leave them for the final time, my heart was just breaking. It was like this yoke that was just opening up and running everywhere. And on the flight back to the LA, I definitely took Gas X.